We knew coming in that Louisiana Tech had a good defense. They had, um, had done some really good things there, and we knew that they had struggled just a little bit offensively, but uh, Sonny had his team ready to play, and they played extremely hard. And congratulations to them. Um, I told our team at the end of in the locker room that I was most proud of how the defense stayed together early because we were struggling so much offensively, and how they stayed together. There was no pointing here, this. Uh, Big fourth down stops. They had first and goal at one point and got no points out of it. And then the offense started getting rolling a little bit more. We weren't as consistent as we'd like to be, but um, and of course we've got to address the special teams. There was four big plays in special teams that we have to get fixed. But to get bowl eligible, the locker room was excited, happy to be bowl eligible. 4 of our first 5 years here. It was um, a lot of fun, and we got Larry out, and the kids had a lot of fun with it. And guys, that's not the goal of our football team. That's one of them, though. There's a lot of Power Four teams that are not bowl eligible after today and won't get bowl eligible, and some of them have to be in our league. So it is an accomplishment, not our ultimate goal. But so I'm proud that we're going bowling, and with that, I'll let y'all ask whatever questions you want.
Yeah, coach, 250 yards of offense in the first half, but it took you guys a while. I think only 25 in the first quarter.
First quarter was ugly.
Was it maybe that run got Talon going, or did you guys see something that they were doing?
Finally found, Trey. We found we found zone stretch, and we found it. And it was in the second quarter. We were trying to run wham, a little bit of a play, and they got us. I mean, to run wham, you're whamming the nose, so your center's not zoning through. Backside linebacker, we couldn't get to him, and so there's a 3-yard loss. And schematically, they did some internals where a lot of them they were doing them on the same side coming internal. This one was what I call bozo, a cross dog, and we finally decided, hey, if we can just zone through that we feel like we can get a hat on a hat, and we had good enough athletes to do that. So that's when the running game started a little bit, Trey. But part of it was, let's go to some zone read and let Talon run the football and try to loosen him up a little bit.
Like aside from like maybe a penalty here and there or a special teams play, the defense looked like they were gearing up to pitch a shutout.
Well, that certainly was a goal at half, because they had played lights out in the first half. And we had one penalty on our sideline, pass interference, and man, I'm not trying to lose no money. So, but the targeting on the quarterback, and then it was and the personal foul. I don't know what else Ian could have done, to be perfectly honest with you, which took away an interception, and a 40-yard return on it. But I thought T. Will had the guys ready. They're a lot of fun to be around, and they're playing extremely hard, and they tackled real well. I was glad, Landon, he had a tackle for loss for about 3 yards, and then he had a sack, and then third down incompletion, and then they faked the punt on us and made it. But I thought, I was really happy to see Landon have success on his last home game here. And, he came back. He didn't have to. He would have got drafted last year. But for him to come out and then his last game in here and do some special things, that was really cool, too. Long answer, Trey. Sorry.
They wound up with 40 touchdowns responsible, but it took them a while to get going. Was the wind a factor? or something? He just seemed to be a little off.
For us. Oh, for Taylor. No, I don't think so. I think the protection was a little bit of problem early. I think, we busted a couple of routes early, to be honest with you. And, we just got to play better around him. And, but, he did miss, he threw high a couple times, which I think Dan Marino might have done that a time or two in his career. So, but he ended up getting it back, and so we're really pleased with the way he ended up for his entire day. Was a good day.
Is there an easy fix for the guys? I don't. They may be the gunners, but the ones who are running into Isaiah and just being all around him, and it's happened a lot.
Well, man, we're trying to fix it. I think we were too deep with Isaiah, to be honest with you. I mean, he's running up 20 yards, and we were acting like the guy, was Ray Guy back there, and punting into the wind. We need to move him up. It's a lot easier to protect a guy when he's has a 5 to 6 to 8 yard step up. I mean, Isaiah was coming up 15, 20 yards. You have to peak the punter. You have to as a blocker. And there was too many close calls, and one of them cost us.
There are times this
All the time to answer your question, but that situation where he's coming up 20, we have not worked that. We've worked the 5 and the 7 yards.
there have been some games this season where the offense has started slow and it hasn't quite been able to turn the corner. So how, impressive, critical, whatever the right word is, was to get the offense to kind of find its groove today.
Well, we got to win the game. So, they had to find a way to run the football to me, and between Eric, Bobby, and Colby, that group, they found a way to run the football. We're not a, drop back 50-time team, and, unless that's what we have to do to win, but we're more of a running football team. So I thought in the second quarter, once we found that groove with it, that's the way we won the game, I think.
Cool to see Isaac get 2 touchdowns today on senior day.
Love him. I mean, yeah, it was. The little roll pass that Taylor ran, he was wide open. Then the other one, he made a really good catch in the end zone. But Tesla is, to me, Arkansas. I mean, he's one of them guys that hard worker, doesn't complain, loves the Arkansas across the front of his jersey. He is what Arkansas is about to me. I was really happy for him.
Same. I don't think we saw Kudus today. I guess y'all made the decision that this was the game y'all would sit him, and then also Miguel Mitchell. I think they mentioned him on the radio. Are y'all going to redshirt him? He can't play against Missouri then either. Is that the plan for him?
Kudus, I couldn't say I was not going to play Kudus on Monday, because then Louisiana Tech be going, man, that's so disrespectful, So I elected to say we figured it out. And then Mitchell, we would like to redshirt him, and but we'll see. He's been practicing. If we need him to play, we'll play him. He knows that. That's the deal.
I think the belief among many coming into the season was that if y'all would make a bowl game, that your job would be safe. You'd be able to come back next year. Just now that you've done that, gotten a bowl game, is there any relief for you personally? And then, maybe what's your message to fans, regarding, the direction the program is going right now?
Well, I'm not going to do the message to fans, but guys, y'all's been making a lot of money off of, is a guy doing this, a guy doing that, or whatever, or your opinion, whatever. I've never one time worried about my job. I promise you, not one time. So, I wish we'd kind of move on, because it kills us in recruiting. I mean, I was on 6. Get your blood pressure down, Kyle. I was on 6 staffs, and it's a legit question. I'm not disappointed at all. But I was on 6 staffs where you go into the season and everybody's got you fired. Okay. 3 of them was fired during the season. 3 of them were fired the day after the season, and 1 of them was fired before the season. And now it looks then, but I control this. So am I happy that we are bowl eligible? Yes, for everybody in the building and that staff besides me. I've never worried about that. Still don't. I'm gonna be fine one way or the other, but I'm gonna fight like hell for the University of Arkansas the entire time that I'm the head coach.
Same, there's that term sudden change when there's a turnover and the defense really put out the fire. You alluded to it a little bit, but they were putting some tough spots in that first half and things could have gone south. And because they held the line, you guys, the offense got going. But just what you think of, I guess, the sudden change aspect?
Big. And again, I had, because that was the key to the defense at half and then after the game, how they came together and did that, Bob. But that was you. If they scored, the game becomes different. It's not 14-0 half. It becomes a different game. So our defense hung in there and hung us. They put us in ability to win a game. It was huge.
And Armstrong went over 1,000 yards
Wasn't that
today.
something?
You just there's only a handful, literally a handful, 5 guys that have
I
done
mean,
that.
you'd know.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I
we're
looked
about
it
the same
up.
age. Are you older than me or no?
I'm 65, so
Yeah,
I
you're
think I'm a
a
little
hell of
bit
a lot
older.
older
Yeah.
than I am.
Oh, yeah. But yeah. So there's literally 5 guys that have gone over 1,000. What do you think about him doing that?
It's incredible. And Division II guy. He came in for commerce and played Division II football, and then come in here and had a pretty good season last year. And then to go over 1,000, 1 of 5, big deal. And I'm really, really proud and happy for him.
Nate wanted me to ask this about
Come on, Nate.
about RW going over 100 yards. What you think of that?
Man, did he run hard or what out there? Hard of was a captain today, so that certainly made a big deal to him, and he appreciated it. But that's the guy that, when healthy, that you're going to see. And I really was. I mean, boy, he put his foot in the ground and went north and south, made guys miss, and a couple of them were blocked for 2-3 yards, and he made 15 on them. So I'm just really happy. I love him to death. I was really happy for him.
You won a game that you lost the turnover margin today.
I know it. I didn't mention that after the game, but now we gotta figure all that stuff out. We don't want to lose that turnover margin, but we did. We've got to continue to get more turnovers defensively, and we've got to take care of the football. I mean, we have to. Obviously, Missouri's a really good football team, so.
The play on with Ian, it looked like just a football play. And
It was.
he hit him kind of here, but so why did they keep the roughing? Did he land on him? I didn't really see.
Well, you can't overturn roughing. You
Oh,
can overturn the targeting. So that's a good question as well. I'm bragging on y'all about your questions.
We saw Nico wasn't dressed out today. What you have an update on his
Guy's
stuff?
injured. He's got a knee. We don't know how bad yet, but he has a knee that he actually got looked at last night before the basketball game over there. And so I don't know the results from that, but he wasn't able to play. Kind of came up on Wednesday.
I guess back-to-back good performances from the defense. I guess what's the difference towards the end of the season between this year and last year?
Whole bunch of yards and points. To be honest with you, we did in the offseason figure out that we had made a decline last year. You look at everything, and how can we play better defense as the season goes on and all that. And we did make some moves personnel wise, I think helped us as well. But going to the 3 down front has helped us, and we play pretty well most of the time in that front with that coverage.
And the defense had the 4th and 1 play deep in Louisiana Tech zone territory when they elected to go for it. It feels like there's been quite a few goal line or short yardage stands. Just maybe what specifically has allowed y'all to have more success in that area?
Well, I think we've spent possibly more time on it. Depending on where you're trying to come off the edge or whether you're trying to come up the middle, depending on what we feel they're going to try to do to us. And so I'd give that to the players that are making the play, but certainly schematically watching tape and guessing right, because when it's a yard or half a yard, it's hard to guess right, and we've done that here lately.
Sam, I don't think we saw Braylon Russell today either. Is he healthy or was it kind of coach's decision?
That one there, and I would have told you I did not know that, but he was not fully healthy last week. He was healthy this week, so I got to figure out exactly why, and a lot of it may be that 22 was healthy and RW and all that, but we believe in him. But that's the first that I've heard about that.
Sam, you guys played a really tough home schedule, a lot of ranked teams, had some tough losses of late, but then how good to kind of regain some momentum, and 6-5 is nice, 7-5 is better if you can go to Missouri and win. Just how do you feel about this win set you up, and just how good is it to get back on the winning side of things?
I don't think anybody goes into a season and go, man, I hope after 11 games we're 6-5. I don't. You know what I mean? But getting bowl eligibles feels pretty good right now. I mean, it does. I think we've been supposed to win maybe 4 games this year or something. If you ask everybody and you look at whatever. So, we got to continue to get better. I think we're going to have an opportunity to keep our kids that we have on the team, and with revenue sharing, it's going to help us tremendously. I think the future's bright. But to answer your question, I'm happy that we got bowl eligible.
Appreciate you.